Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to Halloween horrifying movie month. Excuse me. I had a long day, so I'm doing this video out on a whim. It's been a couple of days since I did a review, so bear with me. This is the 2018 slasher movie that came out last year. It's called Hellfest. Yeah. Now, this is one of those movies that were disappointing. It was disappointing for me because I really was expecting something, different, and all I got was a really crappy, generic, boring movie that I'm like, it had a decent cast, but it just was very generic. And I've seen this kind of movie done before. This is the poster. Yeah, not my cup of tea. Didn't like it. See, it says it's a 2018 American slasher film directed by Gregory Plotkin. Never heard of him. And written by Seth M. Sherwood, Blair Butler, and Akila Cooper from A Story. Yeah, and it took all these writers to make a generic slasher movie that's basically a ripoff of the Funhouse from the 80s, Funhouse Massacre, and every other slasher movie you've seen or TV show based on slasher films like Scream or Friday the 13th or not Nightmare on Elm Street, but yeah, it's just too much. And what is the point of this? Like seriously, what is the point of this movie? To scare me? It wasn't scary. It's very predictable. The movie is one of the most predictable films I've seen in all of most of the films that I saw this year. Now, let me just get to the synopsis real quick. Hellfest is introduced as a horror theme park. Again, Funhouse, guys. I saw that movie not too long ago, which travels across the country during the Halloween season. A young girl from Cincinnati is shown to be separated from her group during one of the mazes. There, she is confronted by a masked figure who known her entirely as the Other. You mean like the Shape in Halloween? Yeah. She recognizes the Other as a man who has been following her and a group of friends in the night. The Other attacks the girl, stabbing her in the gut before hanging her. The young girl's corpse appears to blend in with the other prop bodies as the Other leaves the scene. The cast is decent. I'm going to say that they're not horrible. Amy Forsyth, she's a new Canadian actress. She's pretty decent. It's just her character. There's nothing to her character. She's the total damsel in distress. And get this, she doesn't kill the killer at the end. So there's no retribution for this at all. She gets away, but she doesn't kill the killer. I mean, this is underwhelming. Even Texas Chainsaw Massacre did that, but at least Texas Chainsaw Massacre had tension and beautiful art direction, and it's really, really scary and creepy. And that scene you first see Leatherface hitting the guy over the head, it's shocking. You didn't see that coming. This is about as predictable as you get. You have the token characters. You have her best friend, who's a black girl, who's beautiful. I'm not going to say anything bad about her. You have a girl that I swear she looks like Jennifer Lawrence. It's not Jennifer Lawrence. It's what's her name? Rebecca Edison Taylor Klaus. Yeah, she's the girl with the mohawk. She looks just like Jennifer Lawrence, and her sexual orientation is non-binary. Yeah, fuck you. There's only two. You're either straight or you're gay, bisexual, or whatever. There is no non-binary code. You're not a freaking computer. You either like boys or you don't. It's that simple. Fuck everything else. And I know I'm gonna get shit for that, but I don't care. I'm not a fan of LGBTQRSTUV WSYZ agendas in any movies or any shows or in real life. It's just not me. I'm not gay, so I don't care. Okay. Anyway. That's why we'll never see Batwoman. But anyway, Tony Todd's in this, and he's the Barker. He's underused. He could have easily been in this movie more. If he was the killer, like in Candyman, that would have been awesome. But he's barely used. You have Christian James as Quinn. You got Matt Mercurio as Asher. You got Robbie Attal as Gavin. You have Rain Edwards as Brooke. That's the girl, right? That's the black girl. Yeah, she's decent. She's 22. She's on The Bold and the Beautiful. She's a soap opera star, so she has some potential. But it's just generic. Even the kills I've seen before. A guy gets hit in the head with a mallet, like freaking Suicide Squad, and his head gets squished. Yeah, it's a cool death, but I saw that in the Funhouse Massacre with Mikey Reed having the same thing done to him. A guy gets stabbed in the eye. Again, I've seen that in Friday the 13th. Hell, I saw that in Die Hard 2, where McClane takes a freaking icicle and sticks it in a guy's eye. I've seen that. Try something new. Oh yeah, and there's another scene where the other is running. The Jennifer Lawrence chick is running away from him, and they were gonna cut her head off in like a guillotine. That would have been a cool death, but I've seen that too. And he just stabs her like this, and then he sees the guy and he's like, "Oh, you want some of me?" Stab, stab, and that's it. It's generic. It's not interesting. In Nightmare on Elm Street, they use dreams to kill people. The when Tina's flying into the freaking air and then slamming all over the place. It's frightening. It's different. Or the scene where Johnny Depp is getting sucked into the bed and there's a ton of blood. See, imagination. It's not that freaking hard, guys. This movie pissed me off because it could have been decent. It's not really long. It's only 87 minutes. This movie's 89 minutes. It's short. It's predictable though. It's very predictable. And a carnival setting can work if it's done right, if it's scary or if it's funny. I didn't laugh in this movie. It was just very dry and worthless. And this movie made money. How? It cost $5.5 million. Not done by Blumhouse. Blumhouse has done better films than this, and it made 18. That's a lot of money, guys, for a low budget movie. That's a lot of money. I don't know. This is worthless. This is worse than any of the Halloween sequels and the freaking the Friday the 13th films, and even the Elm Street sequels are better than this. Yeah, I said it. 2, 3, and 4 are better than this freaking movie. At least they're not generic. They have some imagination or dark humor or good cool imagery. The kills here are very generic. And it's not a. This is the climax of the movie. I'm going to skip to the end because I don't want to talk about this movie for 30 minutes. The girl is being chased by the other, and there's this room with a bunch of people with masks. She hides in there and stabs him in the stomach. He should be bleeding to death. What the hell happened? She stabs him with like an ice pick or something, and he doesn't bleed out. He doesn't get injured. He's just like, "Oh, I got stabbed. I'm okay." And then at the end, he takes his mask off. You don't see his face, but it's no. The reveal is stupid, and he has a little girl. He has a daughter, and he went to the carnival to get her a toy. You had to kill a bunch of freaking dumbass teenagers to do that. You couldn't just buy the toy or win a game and win your toy for your daughter. Why do you have to go on a massacre? Oh yeah, because it's a horror film. Don't take it so seriously. It's insulting to my intelligence, and I haven't done a rant on a movie like this in a while. And I saw Wish Upon, but at least that movie sucked because of the ending mostly. At least there, some of the thing it had some imagination with the little box that could grant wishes. It was something different. Here, it's like, oh yeah, it's a generic slasher movie that even the critics were mixed on it. They thought that they gave it like a 60 something percent. It was released alongside Smallfoot, that movie with Zendaya and Channing Tatum as a freaking abominable snowman. Night School, that stupid movie with Kevin Hart, and Little Women. Critical response. Oh no, they gave it a 43%. It's generic, guys. Even the critics see it. The website says Hellfest might give less demanding horror fans a few decent reasons to scream. I was not scared, but it's neither clever nor frightening enough to leave much of an impression. Thank you, Rotten Tomatoes. I usually don't give a damn what you have to say because you hated slasher films since the 80s, but this movie is generic. It's boring. It's like it's tedious. I was almost dozing off and looking at my computer because I was so bored. Roger Ebert's website gave it 1.5 stars out of 4, saying Hellfest is a pretty bad movie that makes a great case for more slashing at home horror theme parks. It's a good premise, but again, it's wasted. That's what I'm going to say about Escape Room. Easily the most disappointing movie of the year for me, the worst movie of the year for me, because they waste a good premise on stupid characters and annoying characters. And do these people think that teens say fuck in every single sentence? This is not Rob Zombie's Halloween. I bet Pizzow, I want to share this video with you on Facebook because, yeah, they literally, in all of these slasher films, in Booksmart, in freaking half of these movies, why is it that because it's R, they have to say fuck every other sentence? We get it. It's R. You don't have to say it every sentence, guys. That's why Hellboy sucked this year. That's why freaking these comedies, nobody went to go see them, like long shots. Oh, we could say fuck 100 times and nobody will give us a censor. I'm like, again, use it clever or don't say the word at all. You can do this. That's the same thing and it's done more clever than saying fucking every other sentence. I'm like, Does it offend me? No, it's just that it's not dialogue, guys. It's just words thrown on the screen. And it's just so lifeless. And this movie came out on DVD this year in January. It's boring. Yeah, IndieWire also gave the film a D plus, and while applauding its vaguely feminist subtext, yeah, because the women have to survive at the end. All the guys die in this movie. Yeah, fuck you, director, for that, and writers. How dare you? I told you I don't care about agendas. I saw the final girls. That was awesome. It's better than this shitty movie. It's better than this disappointment because that had awesome actors and it didn't waste a premise. And the meta part of the movie worked for me. Scream has a final girl. Friday the 13th, like half of those movies, except for like the sixth one and I guess the original. There's no Adrian King is in that one, and I guess the remake from 2009. So the second Elm Street movie has a lead guy that screams like a bitch, but he's still a guy. Yeah, I'm tired of it. The feminist card's not going to work here. It's been done to death in horror films for the past 40 something years. Hell, there were lead females in horror films way back in the 50s and the 60s, too. Yeah. Remember the original Night of the Living Dead in the 60s? That had a lead female lead and a black guy. That was progressive. Now it's like, oh, everything has to be about women. I'm like, again, guys, there's a time and place for it, and it's not right now. In this movie, it wouldn't have helped it because the girls are cute. And again, there's some decent gore. It does have an R rating, so the gore is not sanitized, but it's generic. I've seen it done before. Seen better kills in Scream Queens. Anyway, yeah, most of the part, Hellfest simply adheres to long established genre tropes. Exactly. Dumbass young people that are freaking cursing like in every sentence. Again, do they do this on Stranger Things? I don't know. But doing that is just a Rob Zombie movie where everybody's saying fuck, everybody's talking about getting laid, everybody's, saying profanities. It's old, guys. It's old. The cast is wasted. I mean, it was a decent cast. There's a bunch of unknown people I've never seen before, except for Tony Todd, who's a horror legend, and it's wasted on this generic, boring freaking movie. How can you make a movie called Hellfest and there's nothing in it? Like, I wanted to like this movie. I did. I rented it at the library, but I was bored. And horror movies shouldn't be boring. They shouldn't be slow. They shouldn't be dull. If you're going to be slow, do like Alien. Have a good atmosphere and beautiful visuals and great effects and a creature that's scary. This isn't scary. It's a guy in a freaking hoodie and a mask like the killer in Scream Queens, and he just nods. He doesn't talk, and he's boring. So, yeah, Michael Myers has more of a presence than this guy, and he doesn't say a word in the original films except as a kid. And then, of course, Rob Zombie's remake and the sequel to the remake. But he has more personality than this. Freddy, cracking one-liners. At least he has a personality. Jason, at least Jason can do something funny every now and then, and he doesn't say two words. This guy's just some generic guy in a hoodie stabbing people. That's not interesting. That's boring. Come up with some new ideas, Hollywood. Stop with this rehash bullshit. It's not even a throwback to the '80s. It's just dull. It's generic and it's cliche and it sucks. So yeah, Hellfest was not for me, guys. Maybe you like it. I don't. I think this movie's a waste of potential, just like Escape Room, and it's a waste of a budget. They filmed it in Atlanta, Georgia, in a Six Flags Whitewater, and it's a good-looking location. There's not a lot of CG in it. It's dull. What did this movie do better than the last Friday the 13th movie or the last Elm Street remake? Which yeah, that sucked. Or even hell, the last Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, Texas Chainsaw 3D. I know they said Leatherface. No, that's a shitty prequel that didn't happen. This is just as generic as that, and that also has a carnival scene. But that movie was slightly better because it had a bunch of actors I like more. It's awful, but at least I got some entertainment out of it. It wasn't as boring as this. That movie just had a ton of writing problems, but this is worse because this wasted potential and it has a shitty ending. I can't believe that this was made. Yeah. I hope it doesn't get a sequel. If it does, put it on Netflix. Do not put it in the theater. I'm tired of generic freaking horror movies. Be scary or be entertaining. Because if you're not neither one, I'm not going to waste my time with you. But that's enough about Hellfest. It did nothing for me. I was bored. I felt nothing. When the movie was over, I'm like, thank God, let's return this back to the library because I'm not going to watch this again. It's dull. It did not need to exist. and I'll leave you on that. So if you've seen this movie and liked it, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you. And if you like the context in it, that's fine too. But it's not for me. I'll never get this in my collection. Never. I'd soon see freaking Halloween 2018 and Halloween Resurrection over this shit any day. Because at least those had something. This is just a waste of my time. But anyway, if you haven't seen this, you're not missing much. So go watch one of the 80s and 90s slasher films. They're much better than this. Even the bad ones have something, a good laugh or a decent kill or some imagination. This is just dead in the water. See you in the next review, guys. Sorry, but I had to rant on something at least once this month. So later.